For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
What was that first deal like, and where'd you find it? What kind of seller was it, and how much did you make?
It was a very interesting transaction because it took forever. Well, not forever, but it felt like it was forever.
Mhm.
It wasn't the first contract I had gotten, but it was the first one that actually went through. So I did. At that point, I was trying everything because like after 10 months of not working,
Mhm.
it's like I was broke and I
Right,
couldn't keep
itching.
up with my friends anymore.
Okay, you couldn't
Maxed
go
out all
out.
my credit cards.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
bro. It was like
yeah.
I was like in a dire situation, bro.
Mhm.
It was terrible,
Mhm.
and so I was really just trying everything
Mhm.
and the cheapest things too.
Like bandit signs, cold calling.
So yeah, I was doing all that, but
Okay.
this particular deal came from RVMs. So are you familiar with
For sure,
RVMs?
for sure. What were you dropping that through?
Call, what is it called? Call Loop.
Call loop. Okay.
Call Loop. Yeah, yeah. And essentially what an RVM is for the people is a ringless voicemail
Mhm.
where and Max Maxwell actually broke it down. I didn't realize the science behind it, but basically it sends 3 different calls to a single line,
Mhm.
and the 2 calls cancel each other out, and then the third one rings on the person's phone, but only rings once.
Mhm.
So, and then after that ring, it drops a voicemail. So on said person's phone that you're sending this campaign to,
Mhm.
they get a notification on their phone saying that, oh, somebody called. It's a random number.
Mhm.
And they look at their phone, they try to pick it up, it completely cancels out, and then they see a voicemail pop up.
Mhm.
So naturally, you'll listen to that voicemail. It's easier to listen to a voicemail than to talk to somebody. So it's actually preferable for them to do that.
Mhm.
And they get something like, "Hey, this is Fade, and it's a little bit out of the blue, but I was walking my dog in your area, and I saw a property I
Mhm.
believe you own. I wanted to reach out. I talked to a lady that was walking down the road too, and she said
Mhm.
that she was interested, that you might be interested in selling this.
Mhm.
I just thought I'd reach out. I'm not even sure if I got the right number, but if it is and you are interested in selling, feel free to reach back out. That we love buying properties in this area,
Mhm.
and we'd love to talk to you about it."
Mhm.
Right? And
Pretty solid script, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Pretty unique
Appreciate
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like an actual voicemail of somebody who's calling you specifically for your house.
Yeah, and that's the goal. But you also want to make it as ambiguous as possible, so you don't
Mhm.
mention the name,
Right.
you don't mention the address,
Mhm.
you don't mention the area,
Mhm.
just all very vague terms. And you mentioned you saw a lady.
Mhm.
Like every neighborhood has a lady.
Mhm.
So you send that out to thousands of people.
Mhm. How many did you need to send it out to before that first? Like, were you getting a ton of callbacks, a ton of leads, or was it just like one lead, one deal?
I honestly can't remember, bro.
Mhm.
Like, and I was not tracking my KPIs back
Okay.
then. It was
It's hard when you
tragic.
first start because
Yeah,
it's just
bro.
so many numbers and you're just trying to figure out how to get a deal.
Yeah, you
Can't be
just want a
tracking
deal. You
KPIs.
just want to
Right.
talk to somebody and get somebody to talk to you.
Mhm.
Somebody actually wants to sell. So I sent it out like 5 o'clock. I got a call immediately from this guy that
Mhm.
basically said, "Yeah, I mean, I want to sell. Can you
Mhm.
come now?"
Okay.
Right?
And it's a good seller.
Yeah, exactly.
He's ready to go.
Exactly, bro. You don't even know. My nerves are going crazy. I was like, dang, this might be it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there at like 7 or so.
Mm-hmm. It's 7 p.m.?
7 p.m.
Okay, so
7 p.m.
pretty
So I
late.
send it out at 5 p.m. I get it
Uh-huh.
at 7 p.m. I get the contract at 9.
Okay,
So like it was like clockwork like that. Boom, boom, boom.
for sure.
I ran the numbers terribly wrong. It was
Mhm.
terrible. The ARV was like 250.
Mhm.
I think that's what the investor ended up selling it for. That's what my numbers were saying. Or it was like 240 or 250.
Mhm.
And the house looked fine. I didn't think the repairs were that bad. But so I contracted it at 135.
Okay.
Like now going back and like now knowing the area way better, it's terrible for me to even make that commitment to the seller. But
Mhm.
I did it. Contracted at 135 and thought I could make like a decent amount, like 15 grand. I thought I was going to sell it for 150.
Mhm.
So they had like a 100 grand range or so.
Mhm.
It was silence, just
Mhm.
crickets. I
Okay.
posted it everywhere that I knew how to.
You were all on Facebook, Craigslist. Where were you posting this deal?
I can't even remember back
Mhm.
then. Like I think I met some people at meetups, how I think you said that you had seen me, yeah.
Mhm.
So I think it was like at like business cards that I collected from people and
Mhm.
stuff. So I sent it out to them, but again, crickets,
Mhm.
right? And I didn't know to send it to agents or send it to Facebook or Craigslist or
Mhm.
whatever that I know now. But at the time I did what I could, crickets, and I had to go back to the seller and basically say, hey, like I'm not going to be able to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a mortgage balance of 120
Mm-hmm.
on it, and he thought he was going to make 15 grand
Mm-hmm.
from it. I went back to him and said, hey, I can't do this price. But what I can do is I can help you find somebody
Mm-hmm.
that can buy it instead.
Mm-hmm.
And so for my first deal, he knew I was wholesaling it,
Mm-hmm.
right? He knew that I wasn't going to be the end buyer. I started looking for people for him,
Mm-hmm.
brought multiple people to the house, said, give me an offer, give me an offer, give me an offer. Ended up getting somebody, the highest I got from somebody was 99.
Okay.
So imagine setting an expectation
Yeah,
from somebody at 135,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the highest he got was 99.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually said that, hey, I've done all this work to the buyer that, hey, can you pay me at least a little bit something?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, I can do maybe like 102.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I get the seller for 199 or for 99.
Mm-hmm.
I sell it for 102, make that $3 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this guy has a balance of
Mm-hmm.
120, and he's now not making 15 grand. He's
Mm-hmm.
coming to the table with 21.
Right.
But I find out that the reason why he even reached out to me so quickly,
Mm-hmm.
that's why like the motivation bit and like the distress is so important.
Mm-hmm.
He had a conversation with his realtor prior
Mm-hmm.
to me reaching out. The realtor said that, hey, you're not going to be able to make any money on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to have to come to the table with something, and I can list it, and you're going to have to pay me, right, and pay for closing costs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I can probably sell for around 100 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But even at that, you probably end up walking away with 90. And that's the conversation he had with his realtor.
Mm-hmm.
So in the back of his mind, he thought that he was going to come to the table with 30 grand.
Right.
Right. So he wanted to get the house gone.
I can imagine. So he called you back so quick. He probably.
Yeah, he was done.
Right.
He was done. And so I was actually, even though like it was so different from the expectations that we had up front, I was still his saving grace.
Right.
And still helped him out. And it's hard for people to imagine somebody in this space where they feel happy bringing 20 grand to the table to close out a property. But it's like his alternative is terrible, even worse. Right. And he wanted gone from this property. So that was my first deal. I got it done for like $3 grand.
How did that feel? Like after 10 months of not getting anything done, right?
Bro, it made it all more real.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still stressful because $3 grand is not life changing, especially not making anything for 10 months. Right. Like $3 grand is like, it was literally just a proof of concept that, okay, I can close a deal.
Right.
And like, not only that, but I've met every single person along the way that it takes to close a deal. I got it done, met the title company, and got everybody paid on that front. And the investor ended up flipping it, made money and stuff. But it wasn't like, I didn't get that elated feeling that people talk about because like it was still my credit card bill. It wasn't even close to anything like that could like touch my credit card bills. And but at the very least, it helped me pay for marketing for the next deal.
Right.
And then a month later, I got a 10 grand check.
Okay.
On another deal.
Off of RVM again or off?
No, this one was a JV.
Okay.
So that one was with the guy that I had mentioned.